Holy cow, every cookie she touches actually crumbles into a million pieces. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, I didn't think I would be saying this today, have the biggest Hollywood flop in history. Cookie Queens is the biggest box office disaster ever.
Meghan Markle just stepped out to help promote the new documentary about Girl Scouts that she and Archewell helped to executive produce. But instead of spotlighting the girls or the organization or the film, Meghan Markle made it all about herself. Who's surprised?
The controversy did not begin with the box office collapse. It began inside a cinema in Los Angeles in early August, when Meghan Markle stood before the parents of 4 little girls, was asked a question about those girls, and somehow turned the answer into Prince Harry. That was the first clue. Not the smile.
Prince Harry, helicopter pilot for 10 years in the British Army? Simmer down, Meghan.
Not the stage, not the polite room pretending nothing strange had happened. The clue was the pivot. A film about children, biscuits, business, and ambition suddenly became a platform for her husband's military story. And even that story arrived damaged. Because she told the room Harry had been a helicopter pilot in the British Army for 10 years.
This is a couple who had international publicity around this movie, and they could not make more than $800 per theater. The humiliation has got even worse, though, because the line that the mainstream media is picking up on, and I don't blame them, by the way, is the fact that Cookie Queens has been beaten at the box office by a cat video compilation.
When the record she was invoking did not line up the way she presented it. One question, one answer, one public room, and already the evening had stopped being about Cookie Queens and started becoming something far more revealing. Then came the second clue, because Meghan did not stop. She kept moving toward that familiar line about the storm, the sun above the storm, and zooming out a bit, a phrase she has carried for years like a polished emergency exit, ready whenever the room gets too uncomfortable. But this time, the inspirational language did not float above the scandal. It dragged the scandal into sharper focus. Because 2 days later, the film opened in 446 American cinemas and delivered just $735 per screen. That number was not just disappointing. It was brutal. It was public. It was measurable. And in Hollywood, numbers do not whisper. They testify. And that is where Lady Colin Campbell's sentence began hanging over the whole disaster like a warning nobody wanted to say too loudly. The 4 girls in the film did their job. They sold their biscuits, allowed cameras to follow them for nearly 2 years, and turned up. The target was never those children. The target was the grown woman who arrived from Montecito, drove 2 hours alone on a Wednesday, and stepped into their evening as though the spotlight had been waiting for her. That detail matters. 2 hours there, 2 hours back, alone, for a film where she was only one executive producer among many. Why that much effort for something supposedly bigger than her? Or was the film only useful once she could stand in front of it? Because the simplest question remains the most dangerous one. What did Meghan and Harry actually put into Cookie Queens? Money? A phone call? A royal name? A poster credit? A fortnight of photographs? The silence around that question is where the story turns ugly. The film was already built around Girl Scouts, business, ambition, and the strange machinery behind America's biscuit empire. But instead of answering what their role truly was, Meghan offered self-belief, storm metaphors, and Harry's military rism. Every soft answer made the hard question louder. Then Friday, August 7th, arrived like Judgment Day. Cookie Queens entered 446 American cinemas. Not 6, not 12, not a tiny documentary run for loyal viewers in New York and Los Angeles, but 446 screens. That is not a quiet release. That is a test. Somebody somewhere believed Meghan Markle's name, Prince Harry's name, and the Archewell connection could pull people into seats. But by Sunday night, the tills had spoken. $327,000 across 446 rooms, around $735 per screen over 3 days. In a country of roughly 340 million people, that is not momentum. That is a warning flare. And then the humiliation sharpened, because the internet found the comparison within hours. Opening the same day in 255 cinemas, under 60% of Cookie Queen's screen count was CatVideoFest 2026, a 70-minute collection of other people's cat videos, material anyone could watch free online forever. It took $568,000. It made $2,233 per screen. Fewer theaters, bigger impact, triple the per-room pull, and the cats made the top 10, while Meghan's prestige-backed documentary did not. That was not just a box office defeat. That was a status collapse dressed as arithmetic. But the public failure was only the visible wound. The private wound may have happened earlier, behind a closed door at Netflix. That is the part that stinks. A streaming executive with every metric, every algorithm, every subscriber profile, and every piece of data on Earth reportedly had the chance to look at this same film months earlier. Netflix had a first-look arrangement with Harry and Meghan, the very pipeline that was supposed to turn Sussex importance into Hollywood power, and Netflix passed. Before the public rejected the film at $735 per screen, Netflix quietly voted no. Now look at the credits, and the whole operation starts to look even stranger. 2 independent production companies made the film. Documentary foundations helped pay for it. Filming started in 2023, and by the time Archewell came near it, the project was already deep into existence. Meghan's own announcement gave away the clue when she said that when they first viewed the early footage, it was immediately something they wanted to be involved in. Early footage means someone else had already done the work. Someone else had already captured the girls. Someone else had already built the story. Meghan and Harry arrived later, and suddenly their names became part of the sale. And not alone. 18 executive producers. 5 more co-executive producers beneath them. A marquee so crowded, it needed a magnifying glass. Yet for a fortnight, Meghan talked about Cookie Queens as though it were a child she had personally carried into the world. That is the contradiction. She wanted producer prestige, but the production trail pointed elsewhere. She wanted seriousness, but the audience chose cats. She wanted emotional authority, but the numbers stripped the glamour off the claim. Then came the biscuit question, and suddenly a whole old royal grievance cracked open. Asked which Girl Scout biscuit best described her personality, Meghan chose trefoil because it was classic, sweet, and all the same color. She said she liked tonal. But tonal was never just a fashion word in the Sussex mythology. In 2022, on Netflix, Meghan told the world she wore beige, cream, and muted clothing as a royal because she did not want to stand out or embarrass the family. That story helped build the image of a woman forced into the background. Now, in a room of Girl Scout parents, she casually admitted she simply likes tonal. One answer did not just describe a biscuit, it threatened an entire narrative. Then the contradictions stopped looking accidental and started looking like a pattern. One slip about Prince Harry's military service could have been dismissed. One casual answer about beige clothing could have been explained away. But 2 major contradictions delivered in the same appearance, within the same event, suggested something far more damaging. Every time Meghan attempted to reinforce one carefully built public image, another version of the story quietly emerged from her own words. Lady Colin Campbell argued that this wasn't about Cookie Queens at all. It was about a woman whose greatest pursuit was attention itself. According to Lady C, if attention is the primary objective regardless of whether it is positive or negative, then the strategy is succeeding perfectly. Suddenly, the disappointing box office numbers no longer stood alone. They became another chapter in a much larger story about publicity replacing substance. But while everyone argued over Meghan's comments, almost nobody discussed what she was actually standing in front of. The Girl Scout biscuit program generates roughly $800 million every year, moving nearly 200 million boxes across America. It is one of the largest girl-led commercial operations anywhere in the world. Yet, buried inside Cookie Queens itself is an uncomfortable truth. Every $6 box returns only about $1 directly to the girl's own troop. The remaining $5 flow upward through regional councils, licensed bakeries, and the national organization. If the biscuits remain unsold, parents absorb the financial loss sitting in garages and kitchens across America. The documentary openly acknowledged that the money split itself had become a political issue. The film knew its real subject wasn't simply biscuits. It was capitalism, childhood, and who truly benefits. Yet, during interview after interview, Meghan barely touched the very financial reality the documentary exposed. Instead, audiences saw something else. Standing before families whose daughters worked entire seasons selling biscuits for roughly $1 a box, Meghan appeared wearing Hermes sandals reportedly retailing around $1,100 and a Cartier Love bracelet valued above $9,000. The contrast became impossible to ignore. The children had earned every sale through neighborhood streets and supermarket tables. Meghan delivered motivational speeches about confidence and believing in yourself. One American columnist urged readers to have a sense of proportion. Critics saw something much harsher. They questioned whether someone promoting luxury products from her own lifestyle brand truly understood the economic reality at the heart of the very documentary carrying her name. The same week Cookie Queens opened, her lifestyle empire focused public attention on premium products, including blackberry fruit spread. The timing invited uncomfortable comparisons that she never addressed. Even more revealing was what she never mentioned. Across an entire promotional campaign filled with interviews about storms, sunshine, personal growth, fashion choices, and Prince Harry's military service, almost nothing was said about the $5 from every biscuit box that never reached the girls themselves. The documentary highlighted it. The filmmakers acknowledged it. Yet the person most visible during promotion seemed determined to steer every conversation somewhere safer. Sometimes what remains unsaid tells the biggest story of all. Then attention shifted toward Prince Harry himself, and another mystery appeared. His name sat beside Meghan's in the executive producer credits, styled exactly as expected. Yet, he was almost completely absent from promotion. Meghan attended the Los Angeles screening alone. She handled the interviews alone. She carried the publicity alone. The only significant appearance they shared for Cookie Queens had been months earlier during a January red carpet, back when the project still promised optimism instead of scrutiny. Now that criticism surrounded the film, Harry disappeared from view. Remember that 2-hour drive from Montecito? Meghan completed it alone on a Wednesday to promote a project where she was only one executive producer among 18. Harry reportedly could not even appear at the venue where his own service record was being used as part of her storytelling. That final door led back to Buckingham Palace. Reports circulated that accommodation connected with a possible September visit had been discussed, then complicated, then quietly slipped away as decisions changed and timing collapsed. Royal commentators argued that after repeated commercial disappointments, practical considerations such as security, official roles, and royal protection suddenly carried greater value than before. Whether those reports prove accurate or not, the symbolism was impossible to miss. Hollywood's calculations appeared to be shrinking at precisely the same moment palace connections seemed increasingly significant. The commercial experiment that promised independence now looked far less certain than when it began. Now, another countdown begins. Trade predictions suggested the screen count would fall dramatically from 446 to roughly 200 as theaters responded to weak attendance. Every reduced screening would become another public measure of commercial confidence fading away. Behind closed doors, somebody would inevitably face blame for a release that arrived with royal headlines but struggled to attract audiences. Whether responsibility falls on marketing, timing, executive decisions, or the Sussex brand itself remains unanswered. Yet one question refuses to disappear. Was Cookie Queens merely an unsuccessful documentary, or has it become the latest public test exposing how much influence Harry and Meghan truly command outside the institution they left behind? As the screens disappear, the speculation is only beginning, and the next chapter may reveal consequences reaching far beyond one disappointing weekend at the box office.